Hey guys, and this is Primeval, back with part 4 of our Deity Domination livestream. Let's switch that over to the game. Okay, so I'm just going to go and wait until, well, I can always listen back to the stream myself, but if there are, if you guys in chat could let me know if the volume's coming through just fine, that would be awesome. Hey guys, and this is Primeval, back with... Alright, I can hear my own audio fine, so that's excellent. So if you hear someone suffering in the background, my girlfriend is homesick with the flu, so I'll be cutting this session a little shorter. We'll just go for an hour today, and please excuse any coughing or sneezing you might hear. Alright, so when we left off last time, we had made peace with the Zulu, and the Mongolians had wiped them out for us, and we're actually considering that we've conquered, let's see now, 1, 2, 3 cities, and we did get a 4th city. The rest of the world is quite happy with us. So here, Kamehameha, despite the fact that he's probably going to be backstabbing us, is friendly here. We do have the bonus of having freed one of their captured citizens. And everyone from the other continent, despite the fact that we did capture 3 cities and contribute very strongly to the complete extermination of the Zulu. They don't consider us warmongers, and they're not upset at all. And let's see, Mongolia is also quite friendly with us, since we did fight together against a common foe with them. We liberated some of their people, and they liked our proposal at the World Congress. So, I don't feel the need to grab Mongolia's cities right away, since, well, they are leading us on score, but we're leading them on tech, just barely. But I don't really have anything to do with their cities. If they had some coastal cities, I would probably go to war and grab some of those, because I do want to start kicking out a navy, since there is the whole other continent to deal with. We see Paris here, and we can see, because of the World Congress, the single tile of our other AI capitals. We did pull back an army here with the option of attacking Polynesia and certainly having our troops in position to defend. But if you look at all of this rough terrain, getting aggressive is going to be very difficult, especially since Polynesia is ahead of us on tech. They do have a lot of combat strength in their cities, so I don't know if I want to be attacking them either. The other option that I'm considering, and that was suggested in the comments last time, is that we take some time to get our economy in order, get our tech going, and then perhaps when we hit artillery, we'll go and deal with either the Polynesians or the Mongolians, or, well, eventually both. But I think because of all of this rough terrain, we are going to go for that option, and in the meantime, we will start pumping out a navy from Nineveh. So where we are on the tech path, we're working our way up towards chemistry. That'll give us +1 production from mines, which will give us a massive production boost here in Nineveh. And then we'll be able to pump out a bunch of Galeas, upgrade those guys to frigates, and then pump out some privateers. And then maybe we'll keep an eye on what the diplomatic situation is on the other continent. Whoever the other 3 end up ganging up on will join the war, and we'll use that as an opportunity to maybe grab a city or 2, but definitely to upgrade or get some promotions on our frigates. And then once we have logistics or range 3 on our frigates, we'll start wreaking havoc on either an AI from the other continent or against Polynesia, because having a navy will really aid our assault on them. Hopefully we'll be able to maintain peace with Polynesia, because if I am trying to get our tech and economy in order. I don't really want them to surprise me with an aggression of their own. Nineveh has adopted our religion, excellent, and Urundi has grown. I'll also go and annex these cities once they stop building buildings that I don't really want. For example, I don't really need this amphitheater, but since we're already half completed there, we're going to go and probably annex that once that's finished, assuming that the next building isn't something that I want. So Hustler1300 asks if I'm going to settle some more cities, and since I do want to work on a navy, which the workhorses of an early navy are going to be frigates, I'm going to need iron. Right now, I have 0 iron. Is that correct? Okay, so if I go, am I selling the iron? If I repair this iron mine, I'm not sure why I have 0 iron, but I think I only have 2 iron within my territory, which doesn't really make for much of a frigate fleet. So if I can get some more happiness, and I should shortly, once I finish these Colosseums, I'll be able to settle 1 more city, and I'll probably drop it somewhere where we can grab the iron, which will be nice for production. Probably right here. It'll give us a bunch of hills to work for production as well, and then it'll be within range of 3 fish, which will be pretty awesome in terms of growth once we have a lighthouse. Hello to everyone joining the stream. Okay, so that's the plan. 1 more city. Another coastal city. We'll definitely be annexing Nobamba once it finishes that university, and we'll start pumping out some sort of a navy. And that also means if I'm not planning to get aggressive with Polynesia, I can go and reposition some of these units. We did take tradition, which means we can save some upkeep by stationing some units in our cities here. So we'll pull some of these guys back. We'll definitely keep a bunch of crossbows around Assyria, just in case the Polynesians get some funny ideas. And what's the deal with this mine? It's not pillaged. Am I selling the iron? I'm exporting the iron. So I'll get that back in time for frigates, for sure. Now I do have some marble down to the south, and Antwerp, which is at the moment the only thing that's keeping me happy, does want marble. So if I can go and we have 1 great general, let's go and pop our borders to grab that marble. Kamehameha wants to buy our gems for 5 gold. Let's see if he'll offer me 7. That is not a good sign. Let's see if he wants scholars in residence now. And nay. No, he is ambivalent on that. Alright, so we'll go and sell our gems to someone on the other continent who will offer us a better price. Let's see, Brazil. How would you like to give me 8 gold per turn for that? 7? Sure. And Polynesia was actually serious about their desire to attack the Zulu, but they did arrive several turns too late with their army. Our cities want gold. Resource-wise, we don't have anything to spare at the moment. We could get another salt online, and that we could use to trade with one of these other civs. Maybe get some truffles from Nebuchadnezzar. Alright, well, let's go and try to get that marble online. And we'll leave the siege tower, say, here. drop the crossbowmen into Ulundi, fortify, and we'll just keep the worker here until that Great General gets into position. And since these siege towers have +1 sight, we'll leave this guy here to keep an eye on what the Polynesians are up to. Okay, so this all looks fine. Excellent. Alright, so Hustler 1300 suggests that rather than wasting my Great General to expand the borders, I could buy the tiles. The hill or the swamp are both going to be fairly costly. Buying these two tiles, I'm guessing this guy's going to be 60 and 60. So the Great General is going to save me a little gold. And if I'm not planning to get aggressive right away, using the Great General does save me gold per turn, since I do pay, I think at the current era, it's 2 gold per turn upkeep for him. Asia is constructing the Red Fort, planning against Venice, and sneak attack on Venice. Discovered physics, and then it is adapted to religion. So, by using the Great General, I do save myself a bunch of gold per turn, and gold, although my gold situation is looking pretty good at the moment. So that's not desperate. However, it is a good point. At the moment, this is my only Great General, but this isn't a bad location for the Citadel either. If the Mongolians decide to get aggressive with us, that's actually a reasonable spot for a Citadel. It definitely provides some protection for Gun Delovo. I think I will use the Great General to grab those tiles, although it's definitely a good suggestion there from Hustler. And so it becomes religious. Antwerp, we've nearly lost our ally status with them. Alright, so I'm sorry, Hustler, but I am going to go and use the Great General there. We'll start working on that quarry. Ulundi's working in the market. I am fine with that, and I'm not in a huge rush to annex the landlocked cities, but once they start working on buildings that I have no interest in, I'll definitely switch that over. Okay, there's the Colosseum done. We could go for either a granary or a workshop. We've put off the granary for quite a long time. The marketplace would also be quite useful, but settler in 7. Let's go for that settler. I think once I finish that Colosseum and get the marble online, we'll be able to settle the additional city there. I already have my national college, so I don't need to worry about messing anything else up. Unless, maybe I should get an ironworks in Nineveh first and then settle the 3rd real city. Yeah, I'm liking that plan. Use it to get the wine, eh? Yep, so that would have been also a good option. We could get an additional wine, which would be good for trading. So had I bought the tiles and then used the Great General, but then the Great General, the Citadel would not be in, a decent location for protecting the city. Not that the city's under threat at the moment. So another good suggestion by Hustler, but we've already passed that stage. Sorry if the chat is lagging. Another thing about YouTube versus Twitch is that there is the DVR feature, so whenever you join the stream, I don't know if you join right at where the current live status is, or if you start at the beginning. So if you want to be caught up to as far ahead as you can be, just click, I guess, the seek bar to as far to the right as you can, and you'll catch up to the live section. Right, so we have a caravan that we can go and send somewhere. If I do want to maintain relations with Polynesia, I do get a decent amount of gold and science out of that, so let's go ahead and maintain that. The Polynesians are still sending one trade route our way, so hopefully they don't have any serious plans to attack us, although the fact that they are willing to buy our luxuries for only 5 gold per turn is, as I mentioned, not a good sign. Right, so what I wanted was to get the ironworks online, which does mean getting our workshops up before we go and settle the third city. And I do already have machinery, I got that a while ago, so there's no problem with the ironworks there. Yeah, sorry about the lag. I don't know if Twitch is considerably better, but perhaps for, I think I'll keep this Duty Domination series with YouTube, but I will test out Twitch for some other live stream events later. Alright, so what do we want to do with this worker? Probably get another salt online, that'll be useful in terms of upping useful tiles around Nineveh and trading with the other civs. Okay, Polynesia has a few units, but nothing too threatening looking at the moment. And now Lovo is working on a canvassery. I don't think that's really the most useful, so we're going to go and annex the city now and change production to a courthouse. Although this does mean that I have... Oh, he already has a workshop. Excellent. So that's something I should have checked before I annexed, but it all worked out just fine. We'll switch ourselves over to production focus. We finished that in 6 turns. Currently unhappy, and that'll only get worse once we lose Antwerp. Let's see, how long is it until I finish that quarry? 6 turns? Well, let's see. Does Napoleon want our salt? He wants gems. How about horses for copper? If I toss in 5 gold per turn. Alright, well, we can try some of the silly sell 1 strategic resource for 2 gold per turn business.
Excellent. Tu disais?
And then we'll just go and buy the copper. 4, 7 gold per turn, 9 gold per turn. That's not really a great deal. Let's see, does Genghis have anything I can buy? Or Kamehameha? Declaration of Friendship, you must decline. That's not terrific. Alright, Napoleon is willing to sell copper for 9 gold per turn. Is he willing to sell gold for 9 per turn? No. Alright, we'll go and give 9 gold per turn to Napoleon, that's fine. I have plenty gold per turn coming in at the moment, so I would like to stay happy. And please, though I did ignore the last suggestion from Hustler, you may continue to give suggestions or ask questions. Despite the lag, I do appreciate the interactivity that live streaming allows. Okay, all this stuff is repaired. We could save some gold per turn by removing some of these excess roads. Maybe this piece right here. Yeah, that seems good. Maybe we can remove these guys as well. Although we're not desperate to save the gold per turn, and these roads will be useful if we do decide to attack the Mongols. Okay, so if we buy the salt, let's see if anyone will actually buy salt from us. So there's gems, gems. Okay, so if we get more salt online, we can trade that with Babylon. Alright, so I'm gonna go and buy that salt tile then. 70 gold. Yeah, let's go and remove this road. I don't anticipate using that. Everything else here looks fine. Cozy Ruthie says that YouTube is supposedly buying Twitch. I don't know how I feel about that. I suppose one potential thing is that potential objectionable thing about YouTube buying Twitch, at least from the point of view of streamers, is that Twitch is not as rabid about enforcing copyright, and so I often see people on Twitch streaming all sorts of music or games that don't allow monetization, and of course ads are playing. So that'll be a bit of a hassle if Twitch also clamps down as hard as YouTube does. But otherwise, I mean, sure, Google's pretty big, but I don't really have any major problems with them. Alright, so, sorry there's not too much exciting going on at the moment, although if we do want to make sure the Polynesians don't attack us, we should see how much it'll cost for us to bribe them into a war with someone else. Let's see, trade, declare war on Genghis. He's not really interested in that. How about getting Pedro to declare war on Kamehameha?
Olá? Estou ouvindo.
35 gold per turn and 80 scholars and residents.
Prosperar através do comércio.
I can spare that at the moment, and it would distract the Polynesians, but I don't know if I want to be propping up the number 1 AI. I'll consider that and see if you guys in chat have any opinions on that. Alright, so we're getting a little closer to chemistry. That's 12 turns off. We do have a spy, and he'll be able to steal something in 4 turns. Let's see, what will our textile options be then? Acoustics or chivalry? Okay, so his mines are not currently enhanced, so if he doesn't have chemistry, which means that I won't be able to steal that, I'll continue hard researching that myself and hope that I can steal acoustics. I could also steal navigation, but since I do have a whole bunch of gold, I'd rather do the Galeas upgrade to frigate to convert some of my precious, well, not my precious gold, but convert some of that gold to precious hammers. Alright, let's have a look at the chat. Explore the fog to the south. Yep, that's definitely a good idea. I can go and send a unit there. And the rumor that YouTube is going to buy Twitch for $1 billion. It's amazing how much these internet companies sell for. Oh, and I do have a extra great general, so we still have one great general, not to fear. And if we do get into war, we're not caught completely without any great generals. Anyways, yeah, we are just getting a bunch of important buildings online. So to many of you, that's probably not the most exciting, but this is going to be very important in terms of getting our techs in order so that we aren't completely stomped by the remaining AIs. We've met Valletta way over here, and we did hook up Marble, and we are allied with Antwerp again. That's excellent. We've got plenty of extra happiness, and so after Assyria finishes the workshop, we'll go and work on the city, or the settler, and it'll probably take him a bunch of turns to get over here anyways, so that'll give us enough time to go and build the ironworks. Alright, there's the courthouse done. Let's get to work on a university. We definitely have the citizens here to employ the specialist slots. And while we are while we have open borders with Polynesia, we definitely want to be taking advantage of that. Alright, so what do I want to do here? I don't think I really need to repair any of these farms. We can go and put a trading post up in that jungle. That'll be nice once we have the university online. And the Mongolians want a declaration of friendship. Sure. Let us work together. And since I am worried about the Polynesians, I think I do need to pay more attention to the diplomatic situation here. We'll go see who Kamehameha is friends with, and then we'll try to make friends with the very same people. So he's friends with Venice and Mongolia, so I definitely made the right choice there, making a declaration of friendship with the Mongolians. And I could also make a declaration of friendship with Venice, and that will put us further into Polynesia's good books. So let's go try to make a declaration of friendship. Okay. A little premature there. Enrico didn't want to go for that. But perhaps later, if Venice offers us friendship, we'll know that we can accept that since we are trying to keep our relations with Polynesia, at least from going to war. Our salt deal to Kamehameha has ended. Extra salt for pearls or spices. Let's go with spices here. Since we could potentially get pearls from one of these city-states instead. That's 29. If I did want some faith rolling in, I could go and toss some gold over this way. Yeah, I can spare some gold here. Excellent. And we have enough faith to purchase. I could purchase a missionary and flip some of these cities over to Tengrism, especially since there are a bunch of other cities here that have converted to Catholicism. I think that'll be important. Oh, I do remember that there was a comment from the last video suggesting that I settle a city somewhere here, which would be good, since that would protect my road from, say, the Polynesians setting a city over here. And this is a really nice city spot. I mean, there are a lot of mines, gems, some decent food eventually, especially with the sheep, and lots of jungle. And at 16 happiness, I do have the happiness to spare there for a city here and a city here. So that's definitely an option as well. Lindy has grown again. Okay, Kamehameha is pleased with our declaration of friendship with Mongolia. We've met another city-state here. Geneva calls for faith. Alright, let's go and grab a settler. That's 6 turns. And then plus probably 6 or 7 turns to walk over here. That should leave us enough time to get the ironworks online. Okay, there's another assault, and we can go and sell that to the Babylonians. Let's see, salt for truffles. Nope. Salt for silver. Alright, I'll just sell you salt for gold per turn. And let's go get another farm going. We can keep growing there. Alright, and let's see if we can make this chat window any larger. Make sure Venice doesn't buy Antwerp. Yes, that would definitely be concerning. There's not too much that I can do to stop that, though. Antwerp is fairly far away from Venice, I think. Let's see. Where is Venice? Is this Venice? No. I think Venice is far away from Antwerp. I hope. Okay, Venice is way over here, and Venice actually doesn't look like it's going to last much longer, so maybe we won't have to worry about Antwerp being bought up. But yeah, losing Antwerp would definitely hurt us since we're getting the bulk of our happiness from them. Now, no city-states want our cargo ship there. We can get the most gold by trading with the Mongolians. And I think I will do that, although it would be dangerous if we do go to war with someone from the other continent, since this side of the continent is a little more exposed than a short trade route with Antwerp. Alright, let's just trade with Antwerp here. Hustler says if I decide to settle the jungle, there's a nice hill beside the 3 mountain tiles. North of the natural wonder. So maybe right here. That would be a lot of jungle. That would be a decent spot. Once the borders expand fully, we'll have 3 sheep, 3 gems, and the natural wonder there with 10 gold per turn, a stone, lots of jungle for population to work once we have the university up. That'll be the next settler though, so assuming Mongolia or Polynesia doesn't rush in there first, we could definitely settle a city by a mountain for an observatory. And I suppose I should go and send a unit to scout that a little more thoroughly. Okay, we get to steal a tech here. Acoustics is definitely more beakers, so I'll take that. And Olamba wants truffles. Olamba is building an aqueduct. I should have been paying more attention to that. I don't really want an aqueduct there, and we do have the happiness to annex them now. Fine, let's go and annex these guys. And we did waste a few hammers. Let's switch that over to the courthouse. Production focus, manual specialist control. And yep, that all looks fine. I do have a great scientist. We'll go and settle this guy as an academy. Make sure that's locked down. Alright, so in the chat, DPS bot and T3 star 361 are saying that they are learning the importance or the benefit of jungles once you have universities up. So those of you who hadn't or weren't aware of how powerful jungles can be, there's really no reason to clear jungle bananas since they do, once you have the university, end up being very nice tiles there with the 3 food, 2 science, and if I had ever gotten around to building a granary, then it'd be 4 food and 2 science for the 1 tile, which is quite nice. Alright, let's get to work on that ironworks. That's 13 turns. Should be okay. Go and hide these guys between the cities to save some gold per turn. And this caravan, let's see. Highest gold would be 7, trading with Polynesians. Do I have some better options? As far as the gold goes, Assyria to Honolulu would be better. Or wait, I already have that going. Okay. Nineveh to Nukahiva for 8. Alright, let's go with that then. We'll go and rebase to Nineveh. And we could journey even further south, that's true, to go for these spices. It would be a little harder to protect, although this is a lot of rough terrain. Why don't we go and see what else is there with this crossbow? And then we can decide where or if we're going to send a settler somewhere inland. Alright, so Venice wants to know if we want to be friends, and they are friends with Polynesia already, so along the lines of trying to keep Polynesia happy, we would definitely want to go and declare friendship with them, although they are at war with Brazil at the moment. And Brazil is #1, although I'm not too worried about Brazil doing anything to us right now. So yes, let's work together. And hopefully that will prevent the Polynesians or discourage them from going to war with us. So we're now a pack of super friends, the Mongols, the Polynesians, ourselves as the Assyrians, and the Venetians. Venice is managing to hold off against the aggressors here. Kamehameha has entered the industrial era. And our next textile is in 8 turns, which is fine. Okay, so here, highest gold to Khartoum, eh? Ah, I see. I misread that. That was a naval trade route, and Nineveh to Honolulu. Oh well. So I am missing a few more things than I would like. So those of you in chat who notice anything, do let me know. Mongolia is happy that we've become friends with Venice. Excellent. And it's true, settling additional cities near Polynesia probably won't endear us to them at all, and might lead to them attacking us sooner than we want. Okay, everything here looks fine.
He mai, e paira pu ka po e o kaua.
Okay, so I do want to hang on to my iron here. We're not going to renew that deal. So apparently Hustler 1300, who has been very active in the chat, doesn't even play Civ 5. Do you even own Civ 5? I'm glad you're enjoying the stream, but that is pretty funny. And 10 Star, or who I had previously called T3N Star 361, says that I should call him 10 Star, and thanks me for the streams, which are helping him improve. I'm definitely glad to hear that. So Venice just lost their capital. They're still alive though. And that's fine. Some of our gold deals have ended where we sold Kamehameha some of our iron. So we have our iron back. And once Nineveh finishes the ironworks, we'll go build ourselves a barracks and likely an armory, and then pump out Callias. Then we'll go and upgrade those guys to frigates. Nebuchadnezzar has entered the industrial era, and Brazil is now an ally of Venice. Alright, choose host. So there's going to be a big tie here. We can't get second place, so there's no reason to vote for ourselves. If we vote for the Polynesians, they will be grateful. So let's go and do that. Since it is a tie anyways, they should be able to maintain their host status, but by voting for them, that should score some brownie points. Okay, so yeah, settling closer to Saros, or right beside it, say, would get us another horse, eventually within range of the spices, some cattle. That wouldn't be bad either, although it would sandwich us directly between Mongolia and the Polynesians. And it's not on our road network, so getting reinforcements there would be more difficult as well. Okay, everything here looks fine. No, Kamehameha, I'm not really interested in selling you that iron. I need it. What are these Mongolians up to? Who are they fighting here? Caragal from Valletta. Polynesia's to be host again. Thanks for our votes. Genghis has declared war on Ragusa. And now the question is, do I want that second settler? If we are eventually going to capture a bunch of Polynesian cities, then I don't really want an extra city in here eating up my happiness, especially since there aren't going to be any unique luxuries. Right now we're getting spices through trade from the Polynesians, and once we capture some of their cities, which admittedly won't be for quite some time, we'll have a source of spices there as well. So, while this is an attractive spot to settle the city, we'd also be able to build an observatory off of this natural wonder. I don't know if I want to pump out the settler right away. We'll go work on a quick granary that'll help our capital grow a little faster, and then we'll work on a market, and then We'll see what the chat or offline comments have to say, depending on when we end this episode, and then we might build another settler. So now, let's see, how long will it take us to get to the coastal city we were eyeing? 5 turns. We got the ironworks in 8, although once we finish chemistry, that should speed things up. So we likely won't have to wait too long before we sell the city, and we really should send an escort with that settler. Fortify. Ooh, and there's some more cattle. We wouldn't get it if we settled here, but if we settled down here to the south, we would get the spices a little sooner. We'd get bananas and more cattle. That would be decent growth and a lot of jungles, so that would be good for science. Right, there's the university done. I am eventually going to run out of happiness here, so let's go grab a Colosseum. And we are good. Alright, there's chemistry done. We have a lot more production in Nineveh now. Almost 30 hammers per turn, which is decent for this tech level. Alright, so where do I want to head next? Not over to navigation. Industrialization could be pretty important for us. We do want to get our hammers per turn up, get a factory, as well as found ourselves an ideology. So yeah, let's go grab chivalry. When's our next tech deal? In 4, and that'll open us up to some more expensive techs. I don't know if we'll be able to steal fertilizer. Let's see. No, I don't have enough information here to know if fertilizer is available to steal, but grabbing chivalry will let us steal either baking or printing press. I don't want navigation since I do want to build those Galeas. And we can go bring this crossbowman back. Alright, so here Hustler's saying that it would be better to settle on the hill to the north. That's definitely a much more defensible position. It does mean missing out on some food here from the cattle and the bananas, but overall it does mean that we'll be a bit safer should some of the AIs decide that they want that city. But at the moment, I'm not really sure if I am going to settle that 4th city. Luna's working on a watermill, which is also fine. I don't need to annex that just yet. Pedro wants me to declare war on France. I don't really have an army to help with that at the moment, so we'll stay out of that for now. And yes, getting chemistry did let the ironworks line up perfectly with when our settler arrives, and we'll be able to settle that city. We just found another city-state. Yes. And yeah, let's go and send some workers along to help improve things over by our new city. Choosing production here. Definitely want a Colosseum. Although we're not growing that rapidly here. Well, first off, let's lock that. Do I want the Colosseum, or would I rather get a cargo ship? Let's get a cargo ship. We can send food to our new city, and that'll help it get on its feet a lot more quickly.
Би мөгөөмөр банк гаргадаггүй.
Continue the salt deal. That's cool.
Aloha mai e ke hoa.
And we do have a lot of green here, so I think we're fairly safe with Polynesia. Let's see what they'll offer us for gems. If they are willing to pay us 7, then we know that we're quite happy. They're not willing, though. Okay, there's their granary done. We do have a little more growth in the capital now. We'll get work on that market. And let's get some more growth going while we do have all this excess happiness. Okay, let's do one more farm. So I guess we're catching up on track, but we're still lagging by 9% there. And we can drop this crossbowman into the citadel in case there's any war coming. Alright, so I'm sorry, we are going to wrap this stream up a little earlier than normal. We'll end this in about 10 minutes, so if there are any quick questions or suggestions, do let me know. And we've arrived in time. Oh, I see. When I reassigned some of the citizens, I did slow the ironworks down. Let's try to speed that up a little. There we go. Assign the workshop, that's still 3 turns. Oh well. We'll just get growth going instead then. That does mean that I will need to delay. If I don't want to have to spend gold to buy a workshop, I will delay settling for 3 turns here. Ooh, rifleman, eh? Okay, so Brazil is pleased that we've made a declaration of friendship with Mongolia, which is interesting. We haven't been too perturbed about our declaration of friendship with Venice. And here we have a tech we can steal, printing press, or banking. Let's see. An additional trade route, that's definitely the more useful option. We'll go with banking here.
Bonjour.
Brazilians are marching on France and secretly plotting against Napoleon. Alright, choose production. There's the Colosseum done. Let's go grab ourselves. We're not really making a lot of gold here, so a bank wouldn't really be the highest priority. Let's go and grab, let's see, we've got the 1 cattle tile, and that's it. So the stables wouldn't be too worthwhile either. Let's go grab, do I want another worker here? No. I could train the settler here, and we'd be able to get over to this spot a little sooner. Maybe while we'll think about that, what I'll do... we could get a Writers Guild. Yes, let's get the Writers Guild here, since my capital is busy building other things. And let's go employ those university slots. There we go, and work one of the jungles. Alright, that's cool. And we will save the decision to build another settler for the next episode, and that'll give people watching on the archive a chance to chip in as to whether or not they want me to go and settle another inland city. Our next textile is in 10 turns, which will still be useful for us. We can probably steal fertilizer by then. And yes, the yapping dog did not make an appearance today, which I am quite pleased with. Okay, so we're not going to settle that. No, they appreciate your coughing and sneezing. It's an improvement to the yapping dog.
Sorry.
Okay, so that's all good. Yeah, that's cool.
He mai, e paira pu ka po e o kaua.
Let's see, how about you pay me a full 7
He
gold per turn?
mai, e paira
Well,
pu ka po e o kaua.
our relations have warmed slightly. They're willing to offer 6 instead of the previous 5. But I can get a better deal from one of the other trading partners, so we'll hold off on that. And we'll tell Pedro that my agents go where they please. Although, he'll probably put a spy on counter-espionage by now, so perhaps I might want to relocate this guy. But the potential there is so good. It is only 10 turns. I don't think we can get a better rate anywhere else. Babylon is almost sure to have a spy on counter-espionage, since they are the tech leader here. We'll keep trying to steal from Rio. Alright, so one more turn and we'll settle this city. We did finish that trading post, which is nice. And let's go repair some more of these farms. And what we'll do, the first improvement will be a mine on that hill with the added bonus of chopping down a forest.
He mai, e paira pu ka po e o kaua.
Ah, 5 iron for my dyes, eh? I am in the market for some iron, but let's decline that for now.
La France t'offre cette
2 gold per turn for a horse.
exceptionnelle.
I'll gladly renew that. Ooh, but a whole bunch of other deals just ended. Let's see now. Open borders to the Polynesians. Some of our horse deals with the French. Open doors and salt to the French. Alright, let's see.
Bonjour.
Trade salt for
Tu
gold.
disais?
That will trigger a Live the King Day for us.
Excellent.
And we can trade
Tu
horses
disais?
for the previous sweet deal of 1 for 2.
Excellent. Tu disais? Très bien. Continue.
Fabio. Great. Geneva wants Tengerism again, but I don't think I want to spend anyone on that, although I should definitely go and spread Tengerism to Nineveh, since we do have religious community and a percentage boost on 33, say a 10% boost there, would be decent. That will get better as our hammers here get better. Alright, let's go and quickly build one more cargo ship. We'll have 2 cargo ships sending food to our city here, although if I do want to send food, that does mean I'll need a granary. Alright, let's go grab a granary, and then we'll go build the experience generating buildings and the Galeas. Yes, Kamehameha could well start something soon. but he has gotten less greedy than before. Before he would only offer us 5 gold per turn for a luxury. Now he's up to 6, which is almost to the full amount of 7. So I'm not too worried. I think that the combined declaration of friendships and voting for him as host for the World Congress did win him over just a little. Alright, so what do we want to do in Novamba here? We could start pumping out Goliath here as well. We do have reasonable amounts of production. Let's go and grab a quick monument while we think about that, and then I guess we could go Barracks, Armory, Goliath. Alright, so let's go settle this city, down to city. Here we'll go work on the mine. Choose production, definitely on a lighthouse. We'll do production focus, but lock that down. Excellent. And let's see. So now this crossbowman is trapped. Let's see if the Mongolians will give us open borders for open borders. He wants my iron, which I'm not really interested in going for. Alright, open borders for open borders. And let's go and see what his other cities look like. There's Hisa, that's a nice coastal city. And here, let's go repair that. What do we have here? We're going to go and send food to Nimrud. And there we jump from growth in 7 turns to growth in 2 turns, which is excellent. Repair that. Alright, so this will be the last turn that I play. So, it's your last chance to get some last comments in for the week. 6:30. Fine. Research agreement, I don't think so. Cozy Ruthie asks if we have time to build a quick caravel, and yes, we do. We can get some scouting done, that's a great idea. Get some more intel, meet some more city-states, and it'll leave us in a better position to decide who from the other continent we should attack once we get this frigate fleet that I've been talking about for the last 3 episodes. Okay, one of our gold deals has ended. Salt and sugar, we've got that. We left the King Day. Trigger. Alright, let's go and renew a bunch of deals then.
Saluti.
Gems, iron, no. There's marble that we could sell.
Olá.
Alright, salt for sugar.
Estou ouvindo.
Bonjour.
And nothing else that I really want here. So 10-star asks if I'm planning to do any more multiplayer soon. I'd love to do more multiplayer, but I'm super busy with work at the moment. Hopefully in late June or July I'll have a whole bunch of time to do some multiplayer games, but at the moment just keeping up with my Tuesday and Thursday live streams is enough. But yes, there will be more multiplayer games in the future. DPS bot, I don't really like research agreements, especially with neighbors who I have tenuous relationships with. I do want to, I would prefer the gold to spending it on research agreements. Alright, so this is where we'll end part 4. Sorry we had to cut things short, and sorry it wasn't super exciting, mostly just getting things in order, but we do have another city. This will be a really nice city. We're going to grow it up really quickly. It'll have good production here with the double iron, all the hills, a whole bunch of food from the fish. We'll have 3 nice coastal cities with decent production, get that navy out, and then we'll go get a bunch of promotions on that fleet, fighting probably Napoleon, since Pedro did want us to join that, and we're probably not strong enough to take on the Brazilians at the moment. Once we have a decent navy, we might go and move in on either the Polynesians or the Mongolians, but we'll see how things shape up. Anyways, thanks all of you for tuning in, and yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday for my multiplayer subscriber free-for-all, and again next Tuesday where we go for part 5. Alright, Primeval, signing off.